Hello, and thank you for tuning in today. So this is a card I've made today. This is a card challenge video. So every now and again, Lynda makes a card and puts it in a sealed envelope and then gives me the components to make a card with the same components on. At the end, we will see whether this card that I have made from the components she has provided match the card that she has made. So I'll be happy if you stuck with me and watch the whole video just to see whether they are the same. So yeah, let's get started. In this envelope will be two further envelopes. So this one that says do not open is the one that's got the completed card in it, so I'll have a look at that later. In this one will be the components that Lynda has provided to make a card to see whether it matches what she has made. So we've got some die cut flowers, a sentiment, interestingly a flower with a greeny yellow dot in. I don't know whether that's a hint or a mistake. So I've got some foliage sprigs, 4 of those, and I've got some patterned paper. So this is paper from a works pack that we've both got. So I don't know whether that's that side or that side. Got some plain card, another piece of the patterned card, and interestingly what looks like part of a card blank. I need to have a think. Why are these blank? Do these where do these go? Does this go on the front? Doesn't quite fit. And the pattern's directional, which would suggest that it needs to go this way. Okay. Inside, maybe? It fits inside, and I know that Lynda is very much a thin border person, so by that I mean she wouldn't leave much of a gap between this sheet and the edge of the card. So there's a pretty even border all the way around there, so I think that goes inside. These are directional too, so why? Do they go on the outside? And if so, where do these come in? So that doesn't go on there. Does that go on there? Okay. This is like a jigsaw puzzle for me, and it makes me think. So I'm not sure about that, but it doesn't fit anywhere else. Does this fit here? Yes, it does. Interesting. So where do you go? Do you go up here? Is this side or this side? Obviously this goes on here. I quite like the bright pattern, to be fair. Does that go there? Where do these come in? Okay, let's stick some stuff down because I'm pretty sure this goes on here, this goes on here, that goes on there, and that goes on there. Let's get those stuck and then we'll come back and find out where they need to go. Okay, so I've had a bit of a think. I've stuck this one down. Well, I'm sticking this one down. I've had a bit of a think whilst I'm doing this. These are directional, and this has got the same pattern on there. I just don't know whether I like whether that goes back there like that. I think, as I say, the pattern doesn't link up, so I'm going to put that in there like that with the dark green up. It's all from the same pack, so it all fits. One thing I'm going to do is, because this has got a bit of a ragged edge, I think I've got a trimmer that does exactly the same. Sometimes when the blades are wearing out, you'll get a little bit of furring down the edge. I cut a block end off of a nail block, so this bit's sponge, but on here you've got a little bit of light nail file all the way around. So what I tend to do when my blade is starting to fur the edge, this is a better one to show you on. So it's starting to fur the edge. Rather than change the blade, I'll probably get a little bit more out of that. I mean, this is Lynda's trimmer's done this, so I'll just take a little bit of the block and just run it down the edge. It tidies the edge up, makes it look nice and neat. And then, as you can see by the little bit that's come off here, all that fluff comes off. So that's what I've done. I did with this piece, because there's a little bit of fluff on it. So I'll stick that down with some Collall. I think I'm going to attach this. See, it's a bit of fluff in there. See? Can you see that bit of fluff in? I'm going to take that off with the block. See how clean it is now? And all the fluff goes in the bin. So I think this is giving tent fold vibes. So I think it needs to go that way because of the directional pattern. I'm not sure about this and how it fits. Or this. I actually quite like that heavy pattern on there because I think that contrast, maybe that goes there. I'm going to put this on here. So these are the parts we've got at the moment. Where they live is what I'm struggling with. That side or that side? I am going to put it in the middle because, and I'm going to round the edges on that, I think, and I'm going to put it in the middle behind here. And then the floral pieces, which are here, I might stick around the outside. Okay, let's do that. Rounding tool. I'm going to pick the 7. I always work from underneath because you can see where you put it in. I've rounded that off. I'm just going to tidy that up. Okay. So we'll save that for inside. I'm going to put this in the middle. And I might stick it on some foam near the top. So let's hang on to that there, get rid of that bit. Turn it upside down and mark with a pencil where I'm going to pop it because I'm going to put foam in that little gap there. Foam on the section that's going on the top here. That. And then I'll put foam on under here when we get that on. I'm going to get rid of my pencil marks because I know roughly where I want that on the top. And been watching some YouTube myself. So one of the ladies that I follow, I think it's Christine Stokes, uses Pritt Stick on the back of her foam pads. I normally put some of the Cosmic Shimmer, but I've got Pritt Stick and it's easier to apply. So I'm going to give Pritt Stick a go, and I'm crediting Christine Stokes with this because I'm pretty sure it's her that I've got it from. So I'm just lining that up at the top, and putting the Pritt Stick on gives me a little bit of room to move it back. See, that's actually touching, but I can actually move it around. So I'm going for there. I'm going to attach it by this. So to do that, I am going to line that up. I'm going to push that down, and then I'm going to draw around here gently. Just a couple of reference points. So 4 reference points to be precise. So if you can see my marks on here, in this gap is where I can put my foam. Sorry, in this gap is where I can put my foam. And let's get rid of pencil marks because I don't need them anymore because I'm using the bottom of the card to line things up. Let's get rid of the tops of that and put some Pritt Stick on. So let's line this up with the bottom of the card. So I want it just overhang, just on the edge at the bottom, and make sure it's the same on each side. And then all I'm going to do is close this because that will then be in exactly the right place. So now that is attached to that. Okay. Inside pencil, I want this inside behind there. Just a pencil. I'm going to push down gently, mark there on the green, and there on the green. Can I see it? Yes, I can. Open it up and you can see there. So I want my happy birthday in there. So I know that that is behind that centre card. See it. I'm going to get my T-square and make sure that it's straight before I stick it down. It goes anywhere. A little bit of glue on there. It's now straight and hidden completely behind there. Now I'm going to think about where I'm going to put these. I actually think this is a mistake or a hint. I'm not going to use that because I like odd number. And I think I'm going to colour them because I don't necessarily like them white. Let's colour all the foliage and the 3 flowers. Okay, so I've pulled some colours out for the flowers. I've got a laminated bit of scrap to colour these on. So I'm going to do all 4 bits of foliage. I don't think I'm going to use them all, but we'll see. The colours that I've pulled for this, these are alcohol markers from Temu. You know, I don't have a problem with buying supplies from Temu. I bought these, or should I say Lynda bought me these, because I was considering it anyway. I'm not really a stamping and colouring person, so I wanted to give these a go before I threw a load of money into some really good ones. These are actually very good, so I'm going to colour these pieces of foliage with these, and I've got 52 deep green and 59 pale green. I just noticed all of these are different, so I might use all of them. I'll just have to see what they look like on the card. The more you go over the join of the darker colour, the more it blends, and that's the beauty of alcohol markers. So that doesn't look particularly pleasant at the moment, but it will dry lighter than it is now. And as I say, where the 2 colours join, where they meet, if you've gone over it enough, then they will blend together. The line is softened. It doesn't go away, but it's definitely softened. Those are done. I'm going to set them aside. So for the flowers, I thought about seeing if I could get something along the lines of these colours on here. So there's a dark pink, a light pink, and sort of an orangey. So as you can see, I've tested it on here. So I've gone for 121, which is fluorescent coral red, 9, which is pale pink, and 107, which is sand. So those are the colours I'm going to use on the flowers. Three different, same. Now I want to blend this in a bit more. I don't like the harsh lines on there, so I'm just going to blend those in a bit more. I'm going to leave those at that. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to clean this up. This is a laminated piece of scrap, as I said earlier. I colour with the alcohol markers on here because it's easy to clean up. So I've just got some alcohol spray. This is just liquid hand gel that comes in a pump. So I'll put it in a spray bottle and I'll just spray on there a couple of times and use some cut up pieces of kitchen roll. I never use a whole sheet of kitchen roll at once. I just cut them into squares, and then all you do is wipe it up and your laminated sheet is clean, ready for next time. Now let's move on to this. So I've got the card, I've got my coloured pieces of foliage. I'm going to have some on there, I think, and some behind. So I think this is sort of the look I'm going to go for. So I'm going to need to decide which one of these I don't like quite as much as the others. I think this one is going to go down here, maybe tucked under, and then I like the foliage like that, so I think I'm going to put the foliage on, and then we'll fiddle about with the flowers after. A little tip. So I've got some glue showing here, microfiber cloths. Just give it a tap, and it comes away, and you'd never know it was there. So this is a microfiber reusable face cloth that I've had in my drawer upstairs. So that's got rid of all of the excess glue around that, and you would never know it was there. So foliage stuck. Now flowers. I think I'm going to get some gems and put into the centre of each of the flowers. So I found these little purple gems. They're quite a strong colour, but I think they go quite nicely. This is my finished card. This is what I've made using the elements that Lynda's left me. So as you can see, happy birthday. Everything here she's left me that I've used. The only thing that I have done is I have coloured the flowers and the foliage, and I'm actually quite pleased with that. So let's get the envelope with the card that Lynda's made in it. There you are, two separate cards that look considerably different, using the same concept, the same die cuts, just two different people making them. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the content today, please consider giving us a like, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the bell icon so that you're notified of any future content. If there is anything that you would like to see me do, then please do leave me a comment. I like to read those, and I will oblige where I can do so. Yeah, thank you for coming along with me once more, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.